Hello, hello, hello. Hi. How are you guys?
Yeah, good. And better
Ah,
seeing
that's
you here.
great. How's your
So,
recovery?
yeah, it's good. So,
That's
booked your
great.
ticket for Kolkata?
Sorry?
Booked your ticket for Kolkata?
Not yet, because I need to find a job and get a working visa because I want to stay for a while. So I'm searching around.
Okay.
Yes. But it is my dream place. I know it sounds strange, but it's my dream area.
Have you
Good
ever
evening,
visited?
everyone, and
Okay. I'm muting myself.
okay, little bit of disturbance. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 652nd meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Well, in every Toastmasters meeting, there are three basic rules that you have to follow throughout the meeting. Rule number 1, kindly don't unmute yourself unless or until it's your chance to speak. Rule number 2, kindly don't prompt the speaker without the prior permission of the president. And rule number 3, kindly refrain from using sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. Well, rules being set, let's move on. In March, I came to home for 6 days of holidays. Then my holidays extended for 15 days, then again 15 days. And now we are in month of December. And trust me, I have never been so long on a vacation. Why I've shared this? Because today is the first meeting of the month of December, and I will be again pronouncing the Toastmasters promise online. So what I will do, I will be sharing my screen and I will call out names, and you have to just utter one point from the PPT. So let me share my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone? Anyone just can confirm?
Yes, Sumit.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so let's start. As a member of Toastmaster International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly. Toastmaster Gurpreet.
To prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program.
Toastmaster Komal.
To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
Toastmaster Tanish.
Provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations.
Toastmaster Preetham.
To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow.
Toastmaster Ishita. Toastmaster Ishita. Okay, I think she is not there. Toastmaster Babu.
To serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so.
Toastmaster Shreya.
To treat my fellow club officers, members, and our guests with respect and courtesy.
Toastmaster Aman.
To bring guests to the club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmaster membership offers.
Toastmaster Devashi.
To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs.
And Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra.
To act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Thank you everyone for your participation. Well, we are done with the Toastmaster promise, and now coming to the theme of the today, it's start with us. Well, when I first heard the theme, one quote strike me that if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. Because whatever you do in your life, it always you who will be taking your first step. And once you took that step, many people may join you or many people may go against you. But it will be you who will be there for supporting yourself. Well, that is something I took away from the theme for today. And let's hope Toastmaster of the day will talk more on this. And let's call upon someone now. The person who is always ready to help others. She is a very passionate Toastmaster. And trust me, I have been introducing her for so long, and still I am lacking words to define her. And still I'm trying to do my best. With this, let's call the president of Toastmasters President of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Shreya Goswami Ray.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit. I don't know whether you are lacking in words, but you have never failed to make me happy. Thank you for the positive energy and a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the 652nd meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. And thank you guests for your time. I request the guests to kindly share their name and what they're currently pursuing their life in the chat box. Meanwhile, I'll talk to guest Sujit.
Hi,
Hi,
good
Sujit.
evening. Hi, good evening. This is Sujit here. Basically, I'm from Kolkata, but mostly I've stayed out of Kolkata except this COVID period. And being in Kolkata, I thought I will, kind of join Toastmaster Club. And being on a virtual platform makes it relatively easier for me to connect. So yeah, I'm here for that. And why I'm here, basically, I need a lot of improvement in terms of public speaking. Very, I'd say novice speaker, and hence I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. And I sincerely hope that at 9 p.m. today, you feel the same happiness for Toastmasters.
Thank you.
With that, let's move forward. Our Secretary Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal has shared the minutes of the previous meeting. If any have, please do so within the next 48 hours, after which it will be considered to be passed. It all starts with us.
Shreya,
We are unable to hear you, Toastmaster Shreya.
I would
Okay,
request Toastmaster.
yeah, Shreyadi has handed over the stage to me. Give a round of applause to Toastmaster Shreya Goswami Ray. So good evening, everyone. This is Tanish, and I'm the Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting. So whenever there is an issue or a problem, people always say that they'll take care of it. The government will. Don't worry, they will. But the question that really arises is, they who? Who are they? Who are they that we are really dependent on? It's me, it's you, it's him, it's her, it's us. It starts with us, or else it will never be done. There was a man who used to go for a jog every Sunday at a garden near his house. There was a pond nearby the garden, and whenever the man used to pass by the pond, he used to see an old woman sitting by the edge of the pond. When this Sunday he saw that woman again, he just couldn't hold himself back and just went to her. When he reached near her, he saw that a metal cage was kept beside her, and in that cage there were 3 tortoises caged. And there was a 4th tortoise in her hand, whose back she was brushing. All confused, the man asked the woman, "Hi, I would like to know, what are you doing with these tortoises?" To which the woman replied that, "I am cleaning their shells." The man astonishingly asked why. The woman replied that a layer of algae and fungus gets stuck on the shells, because of which these tortoises have difficulty in absorbing heat and also face difficulty in swimming. Hearing this, the man astonished said, "Wow, that's great." The woman then said that she comes here every Sunday and cleans the shells of a few tortoises. And by doing this, she feels relaxed, and this is her way of making a difference. Then the man said to her that there might be so many other freshwater turtles that might be facing this difficulty as well. The woman to that replied, "Yes, there are." Then the man replied, "Don't you think that you could spend this precious time of yours in doing something better?" Listening to this, the woman smirked and said, "You know, if this tortoise here could speak, it would say that I have made this difference from his perspective." The big learning here is your contribution depends on the person who is receiving it rather than anyone else. We know that we can't change anything and everything at once, but that doesn't mean that we don't do anything at all. We need to we need to take that small steps at a time to make that difference. So moving on, for the benefit of the guests and few others, let me explain you how a conventional Toastmasters meeting works. So in a regular Toastmasters meeting, there are basically three sections: the prepared speech section, the table topic section, and the general evaluation section. So in the prepared speech section, the members of the Toastmasters community deliver a prepared speech of generally 5 to 7 minutes in accordance to their respective project manuals. In the next section, that is the table topic section, both the members and the guests are allowed to participate. For some people, this is the most fun and interesting section, and for some others, it is a section that scares them the most. So in this section, the table topic master gives a topic to the speaker on spot, and the speaker has to give an impromptu speech on that topic. Last but not the least is the general evaluation section, where the general evaluator, with the help of a team of evaluators and role players, evaluate the speakers and the meeting as a whole. So now it's time to call upon the general evaluator. So when I asked him that what is that thing that he had, if he had sacrificed, could make a big difference in someone else's life, he says that he doesn't know what that thing could be, but if he know, if he think, if he says that if there is anything that can make a big difference in someone else's life, he wouldn't hesitate at all in sacrificing that. He's currently a CFA level 2 candidate and also spends most of the time playing cricket and football. He's also serving currently as the treasurer of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. So put your hands together for the charismatic Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Tanish, for that wonderful introduction. And can we keep the applause going for our Toastmaster of the Day? I think he's taking the role for the first 2 times, and he deserves the applause that for the effort he's put behind the role. Well, I'm sure we all must have heard of this phrase that be the change you want to see in the world, right? And be the change you want to see in the world clearly means that if there's something you want to change in the world or something you have to change for the betterment that you believe is not happening right, you have to be the first step towards that ladder, towards reaching the top of that ladder. And it all starts with you. The changes you make in yourselves, the effort you put behind that, the results that you reap out of it, you can in turn help others to put those efforts as well, and for them to get the benefits. And naturally then the change that you want to see in the world happens, and that happens if you start. So be the first person to start that change. When I joined Toastmasters, public speaking was something that I used to fear, and I had never tried before, honestly. But when I joined Toastmasters, it was something that I realized that it has to be changed, and because it is of utmost importance. I had started putting in a lot of effort. I started taking that first step. I started doing what, to get over your fear, things you have to do to get over your fear. And today I am actually learning so much. I've improved so much, and it has become one of the favorite things that I do in my life. I have just ended a 17-day quarantine, and look, I'm here doing this role just after getting out of that quarantine period. So if you start taking that step and you fight those fears, and when you get those benefits that you has always wanted to receive, trust me, these thing that you feared becomes one of the best friends. And in this road, when you learn a lot of things, when you start fighting your fears, there are a lot of things that you make that you go where you go wrong, where you make a lot of mistakes. And when you find someone who's there to help you out in those, when you make those mistakes and rectify it, the next time when you do that thing gets better. And today in the meeting, this is what my role is going to be like. So that today, the speeches that you deliver, the evaluations you deliver, or any role that you take up in today's meeting, tomorrow, when you take up the same role somewhere else, or maybe next week in this meeting, you do it much better than what you do today. And that is what my role is. Now, improvement for everyone, it is a tedious task. And to help me in this tedious task, I have a group of 5 role players who are going to help me and evaluate you all in general. To start with, We first have the grammarian Toastmaster Deoshi Pradhan. And Toastmaster Deoshi, can we please have the role of introduction?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I am the grammarian for the day. My job as the grammarian is to note down all the great usages and not so good usages of grammar. I'll be giving my report when called upon to do so by the general evaluator. Plus, with that, I'm also the word master of the day and I'm introducing the word of the day. The word of the day is solicitous, which means characterized by or showing interest or concern. For example, it can be used in everyone in Toastmasters is solicitous about the self improvement and becoming a better self. I would love if all the speakers, any of the speakers, would use the word of the day. I request everyone, if somebody uses the word of the day, to give them a thumbs up while they do so. Back to you, General Evaluate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deoshi, for that wonderful introduction of your role. Moving ahead, our next role player is the timer, which will be played by Toastmaster Ishita Minda. Can we have your role player, ma'am? Role introduction. Apologies. You're not audible to Toastmaster Ishita. Nope. Yeah, you are audible now.
Good evening, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and the guests present. I'm the timer for today and would be timing the prepared speech section, the table topic section, as well as the evaluation section. For the prepared speeches, the time allotment varies varies as per the project, which will be given by the evaluators. Generally, it's 5 to 7 minutes with the grace period of 30 seconds on the upper and lower bound. For the table topics, the timing is 1 to 2 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds only on the upper bound. And for the evaluation section, the time period is 2 to 3 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds on the upper and lower bound. I'll be sharing my screen and will display the green card at the minimum qualifying time, the yellow card at the mean time, and the red card at the maximum qualifying time. I would also like to say that please all the speakers stick to the time allotment for the in order to be eligible for the e-voting that will happen at the end of the meeting. I'll present my report when called upon to do so. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ishita, for wonderfully explaining your role. Well, our next role player, he's a multitasker. Again, Toastmaster Deoshi as the R counter. Can we please have the role introduction?
Good evening once again, Toastmasters and guests. I'm also the accounter for the day. My job as the accounter is to find all the filler words that are in your speech and when you speak. Filler words are those words which are there but do not require. For example, like, so, so that, or very long pauses. These filler words make our sentences, a bit unstructured, I guess. So my job as the bar counter is to count all these and present the report when called upon to do so by the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deoshi, for explaining the role again so wonderfully. Well, the next role player is someone who's going to keep a tab. Okay, I won't say it. Is the VAR counter, which will be played by Toastmaster Sumit. Can we please have the role introduction?
Good evening, everyone. Once again, when in every Toastmaster meeting, there are a lot of wow moments. A wow moment is something which makes you go, wow. So my role as a wow counter will be jotting down top 3 wow moments, and I will present my report at the end of the meeting when General Evaluator calls me. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumit. Well, just to elaborate, that wow means also emotional, rolling on the floor, laughing, raffle, and all. So if a speaker comes and he makes you laugh, makes you emotional, takes you to a good ride with his stories, then those moments are called wow moments, and that other points Toastmaster Sumit is going to be noting down. Well, the next role player is someone who's joined the club very recently, and I love to see this enthusiasm for taking up the role right after joining. So our next role player is the parliamentarian, played by Toastmaster Preetham De.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Toastmasters. Now, my job today would be the role of a parliamentarian. And in this case, I'd like to compare myself the role of a Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Now, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha's job is to conduct the meeting in a proper manner so that it runs in an efficient manner. So my job as a parliamentarian would be to avoid the usage of sex, politics, and religion in a derogatory manner, use of full forms of all Toastmasters related, like Project One, and different parts like dynamic leadership, presentation, mastery, etc. And I'd request all not to unmute yourself while the speaker is on the virtual podium. Please don't write anything inappropriate in the Zoom chat. And if your video is on, please sit in an appropriate position. And last but not the least, no prompting allowed. And I'll present my report at the end when called upon to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Preetham. That was a wonderfully explained role. Thank you so much for taking up the role of parliamentarian. Right, and I hope that our meetings are not like the ones that happen at Lok Sabha. So thank you so much for that wonderful role. Well, with that, these are my 5 role players. I will come again towards the fag end of the meeting to presenting my role. Now I hand it back to someone who was practicing, his content that he's about to deliver, and he was doing that without switching off his camera. So can we have a huge round of applause for our Toastmaster today, Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal.
Please keep it going for General Value Toastmaster Rahul. So, if we want to make a difference in someone's life, we need to start working today. We need to start preparing and planning today. We need to start preparing and planning from this very moment, or else we'll be just dreaming about it. Abraham Lincoln rightly said, "I will prepare and someday my chance will come." On this note, it's time to call upon the first speaker of the prepared speech section. But before that, please welcome the evaluator to give us a brief on the speech objectives. So when I asked the evaluator what's that one thing that brought a small difference, if not big, in his life, he said that he has started taking reasonable risks, which he was afraid of previously, and that has brought an impactful difference in his life. He's currently an entrepreneur who is running an educational institute. He's also presently serving the VP membership of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. So put your hands together for the hardworking and the ever-smiling Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Tanish, and a very good evening to one and all present here. The speaker is delivering her Project 2 of Level 2 of Innovative Planning. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. Timer, please note that the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes, and I shall present my evaluation when called upon to do so. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurpreet. So when I asked the speaker that if she got a chance to change or start one thing, then what would that be? To that, she said that she wants to start a cafe. And she is currently in the pursuit of finding a purpose in life. So please put your hands together for the adorable Toastmaster Komal Choraria. Toastmaster Komal Choraria, anxiety. Toastmaster Komal Choraria, anxiety, Toastmaster Komal Choraria.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I discovered this term, anxiety, anxiousness lessened by tea, at the age of 21 when I was not ready to get into the real world. They decided to stick around with me through highs and lows, through thick and thin, through peaks and valleys, through ups and downs. A little confused? Let me take you on this journey. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, and a warm evening to all the tea lovers out here. I discovered something apart from the 2-minute Maggie noodles at the age of 18. It was tea. My mom would have tea right after she would wake up. And I would think to myself, what an abnormal addiction it was. Little did I know, 10 years later, it would be my abnormal habit too. But I can safely blame the genes for this one. Like they say, हर problem का solution पानी होता है. It rings in my ears as हर problem का solution चाय होता है. The problem solution is not water, but tea for me. So I drink yet another cup of tea unapologetically, especially when I'm stressed. Apart from tea, there's another discovery I made at the age of 18. Felt like an Einstein already. It was the butterfly feeling in the stomach. Now, most of you don't know me, so don't be optimistic about me having a love life back then, because that was not the reason. The reason was unknown to me. So, anything related to mental health and my little knowledge of it made me associate every such butterfly feeling with the term anxiety. The feeling before appearing for an exam, anxiety. The feeling before meeting a new person, anxiety. The feeling before taking part in competitions, anxiety. But was it really so? In retrospection, I believe that the problem was not anxiety, it was labeling it one. Sometimes we use the words excited, thrilling, anxiousness interchangeably. When we call something as anxious or anxiety, it brings to mind thoughts of what could go wrong. Over a period of 9 years, I've realized, and I would like to make the correction, that meeting a new person excites me. Taking part in competition thrills me. While appearing for an exam, that still makes me anxious. In fact, there are a lot of things that still make me anxious. When I'm delivering a speech, I'm anxious. When I have to prove that I'm the world's best cook at my house, I'm anxious. When I'm alone and I'm sick, I'm anxious. But the question to be asked here is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how often do you get anxious? Take a moment and think it for yourself. If the number on that scale is 10, then you must not hesitate and consult someone professionally. But if the number on that scale is anything less than 10, then you have the power in you to regulate it. When I was discovering what could lessen my anxiety, I started journaling. I started talking to people more about it. I started exercising. I started meditating. And there was one constant companion with me, a cup of tea. Because I realized that was my capsule. It would not go down from my throat to the stomach, it would travel up my brain, then to my nerves, calm it down, and keep me safe. But the idea here is whatever your number is on that scale, the idea is to normalize it and do something about it. This led me to discover yet another thing at the age of 25, a club called E45. Educate yourself for 45 minutes about topics around mental health. Because I did not want to make the mistake of telling someone, hey, stop being anxious, to someone whose number on that scale could have been a 10. It would have been telling someone who is diabetic to stop being diabetic, or telling someone who is drowning to just breathe. In this club, we believe that we must educate ourselves first to be able to not only keep our minds safe and sane, but also to be empathetic and to understand others' problem more. So, what are you doing about your mental health? Are you denying it? Are you dwelling upon it? Or are you acknowledging it? The best solution would be to own it. Own it like every other possession, because stress shows that stakes matter, that you care. Like how pain demands to be felt, stress does too. Use it in your favor to learn in the process. Have a stress is enhancing mindset rather than have a stress is debilitating mindset. Because it's okay to not be okay. I show my 32 all the time, but I'm anxious a lot of times. And I would love for someone to offer me a cup of chai and ask, would you want some more? Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
That was a wonderful take on the topic anxiety, and my myself being a child lover, I completely could relate with your speech. So moving on to the next speaker, I like to call Toastmaster Raghav for giving us a brief on the speech objectives of the speaker. So when I asked Toastmaster Raghav what was that thing that he Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Tanish, you are audible.
So when I asked the evaluator what was that thing that he did and things that brought a small difference in his life, he says that he has started to initiate conversations and has improved his socializing skills, which has brought a great difference in his life. He's currently a CA aspirant as well. So put your hands together for Toastmaster Raghav Kedia. Toastmaster Raghav, you're on mute.
Hello. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good evening. Toastmasters present here. The speaker is giving his first speech, and it is for the purpose of his speech is to introduce himself to the club, and I will appreciate that after the speech is given, we unmute ourselves and clap for the member as he is delivering his first speech. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghav. So when I asked the speaker that if he gets a chance to change or start one thing, then what would that be? He said that he wants to start his own NGO where he can give free education to the children and help the needy. He has currently completed his graduation and is currently pursuing actual science. As this is his icebreaker, I would the timer please note that the time limit is 4 to 6 minutes, and I'll request everyone to unmute their mics and clap for the speaker at the end. And I wish him good luck for his journey ahead. Thank you. Toastmaster Aman, Life Express, Toastmaster Aman.
My name is Aman. नाम तो सुना ही होगा. You must have heard my name. My name is so common that I am sure I know 5 to 6 Amans, and it also includes a female, Amandeep Kaur. She is. Thank God we never had a group plan together. Otherwise, it would have been so tough to call out each other. Fun fact: there were 3 Amans in my school. They were Aman Shah, Aman Shah, Aman Shah. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am here today to take you on my life express, the journey of my life. Come on, hop in. My life express started on 29th August 1998 in Calcutta in a well-knit family of 4 sisters and my parents. I'm the youngest of my siblings. And yes, you get it right. I was pampered a lot and I still enjoy it. My father, a businessman, had a great influence on me. He was just 17 when he ran away from his house in UP to reach the city of joy with a mere amount of 50 rupees. Truly a Rajnikant for me. My mother, a housewife. Anything can fail in front of her determinations. My sisters, they have always supported me, be it covering up for the late night parties or letting me decide my career on my own. Now we have reached the station 1, my childhood. I was an obedient and disciplined kid in my school. Hardly have any guardian calls, always scoring decent marks. But then there came a deep and a dark tunnel in front of my life express. I moved from the first bench to the last bench, having guardian call at least a month. And my scores falls deep into the pit. But friends, on my second station, I had a dream come true moment when I got into St. Xavier's College for pursuing my BCom. But friend, sometimes dreams can turn into a nightmare in a matter of seconds. And yes, you guessed it right, it happened to me. My college life turned upside down since the fiercely competitive environment had a deep impact on me. Everyone knew what they were going to do in the coming 5 years, and here I was thinking, what should I eat in the dinner? My confidence hit the abyss. I doubted myself every second. and did what others directed me to do. But friends, never forget, there's always a sunrise after every sunset. And yes, turning point in my life came when I read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Haven't we watched a movie or read a book that has changed our perspective? For me, it was that thought-provoking book, reading after which I became a different persona. The secret revolves around the law of attraction that states if you want something in your life, just manifest it. So, if you want money, manifest it. If you want to win the best speaker award, simply manifest it. No issues. Motivated by the positive energies, I was determined to progress forward. Things that have weakened me in the past gave me strength. The competition propelled me to look beyond the challenges and focus on the opportunities, and I did the same. I represented my college in various events in my second year. I was a part of the organizing committee member of Zavosov and many other events. Professionally, I'm pursuing actuarial science and I'm looking for a job. So, any HR audience in the group, I'm your guy. Now, we are coming to the third station of my life, my hobbies. I love playing cricket and table tennis. Paragliding is something that I've enjoyed in my past, and I will definitely share my future Sandakpur trek in a future speech. Looking at my physique, it may be difficult for you to digest that I'm a foodie. But yes, I am. But cooked by someone else. Now, friends, we are at the last station of the Life Express. Life is full of ups and downs. No two times are the same, just like a roller coaster ride. The lockdown has been transformational for me. It taught me that we all are a result of small yet significant challenges, uh, options that we do every day. To the lovely audience present here, keep smiling and enjoying your life, as in the words of Kishore Kumar. ये जिंदगी है खुश खबर कल क्या होगा किसने जाना. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, I'm a miserable singer and I don't even remember the lyrics. But the point is, the beautiful express never stops. I opened a new chapter in the lockdown when I joined Toastmasters. And I'm looking forward to improving my interpersonal skills by visiting new junctions with the newfound friends here. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Keep it going for this. That was an amazing take for your life statement. Thank you for taking us through your life express. Moving on, it's time to call upon the last speaker. So for that, I'll call the evaluator. So when I asked the evaluator what has he be doing what he is doing currently, so to that he replied that currently he's just existing. And the question when I asked that has he made any thing that has made a small difference, then to that he replied that he has been working with an NGO called Asha Niketan for the past 2 years, and he hopes that his contribution has helped someone. So please welcome Toastmaster Vishesh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tanish. So today the speaker is presenting a project, present a proposal. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a proposal. Timer, please note the speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the best to the speaker. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishesh. So when I asked the speaker that if she got a chance to change or start something, what would that be? To that she replied that I would have changed myself first, because change comes from within rather than from others. We can't judge people's perception. She's currently working as an interior designer. So please put your hands together for the speaker, Toastmaster Anisha.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Hello, everyone. As much as talent is needed, I have personally realized that analyzing a client's mind and his or her wishes is equally as important as designing itself. At times, we often overcommit, which is a big no in designing. Apart from this, we must convince the client that a good designer is truly a long-term investment, because let's face it, Rome wasn't built in a day. Client proposal is probably one of the most important things your business needs to succeed. Without an excellent proposal, you could let your lucrative clients slip through your hands. The most important and the most effective proposal successfully mixes in the nuts and bolts along with a little bit of fun and personality. So today I'm going to take you through my design process. As the contract is signed and as the fee is taken, the first and the foremost thing we do is that we prepare a design phase one. In design phase one, the whole team prepares a questionnaire which you need to fill to understand what are your requirements and what is your preferences, and what do you prefer, which style you prefer, what are your which style you prefer, and which furniture you like. And in terms of security, your CCTV proposal, do you want to include a double door facility? Do you want any other precautionary measures? There are few questions which will these are the few questions which will help us to plan our house. Then we'll ask you if you have any vastu consultant person, then that will come on board, and then we start the designing to give all and we give all the feedbacks. The second thing is that then we hire the site surveyors, because they give us the exact details. Not every wall is 90-degree. Like some of the walls are 87 to 88 to 89 degrees. So they give us the exact measurements, and then we prepare the AutoCAD plan, which is the measurement plan, and then we give it to the clients. The third thing is that we in this lockdown we just thought to prepare a video walkthrough on Zoom, and the whole call is recorded and shared in a Google Drive, and so that the whole design team has the file, and they can refer back constantly and to get a proper idea. And the client walks up the space very smoothly and understand that this is the kitchen area, this is the dining area, this is this bedroom, and this is another that bedroom. So now we move to our design phase one. We take all the three things that is given to us, and we start putting together in the mood modes. In this we have three mood boards. The first in which we do the furniture blocking, and we prepare like this comes first. And in the second mood board we become like more specific as to like what style he wants, like a contemporary, modern, or some neoclassical theme. Then at the end of the third one, like we get a proper idea as to what exactly his space will look like. And at the third one we also finalize the references in which he gets to know how the space will look like. In phase two we actually we take all those references from the mood board, and then we directly generate the 3D. 3D views are those views which the client understands more in a better way, that his house will or his office space will look this like this. And then the third and in the third part it is more specific, and like we finally move to the third part. And in design phase 3, in which you select all flooring materials, your tile, marble, whether you want laminate or veneer, like everything is generated. Your civil furniture drawing, false ceiling drawing, plumbing, elevations, your CCTV, your speaker drawings, HPAC, like each and every drawing is provided to you all. To you, and there is two list, that is fixed carpentry and the loose furniture. Fixed carpentry always includes the cupboards, like the fixed products, like if you want to have your beds, you want to get it done by the carpenters. And there is loose furniture, which includes your art accessories, your fabrics, your cushioning, your padding, and your planters, everything that comes under the loose furniture. And then we go in the design phase 4, and then we as we have all those things, we just move on the design phase 4, and we start building our BOQ with all the material sizes and quantities. Like if you don't want a wall paneling on the whole wall, you say that please cut short to that, according to that, and then the final quotation is made. And then the final stage is that then we need to move to the execution part. We hand over the drawings to the carpenter and the assigned people, and then we have a site supervisor who takes the care of the site, and there is a site visit on a daily basis from our side. um, there are few like architectural details that can give a home a sense of mystery and a wonder, like a secret door. Secret doors are basically when a like the whole wall is there, and suppose a gate is there, so we just camouflage the whole door. And uh, then such doors are ideal for an interior, like being an excellent addition. So today, like few people can boast of a curiosity, like mostly those if someone wants, I need to hide this thing, I don't want the guest to visit at my place and saying that a door is plopping in this area, I just want to camouflage the door. And at the end of the day, like it is important to meet your needs as well as the aesthetics part. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha. Please keep it going for Toastmaster Anisha. Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha, for giving us insights on the process of interior designing from the beginning to the end. Now, as Annie Frank said, I see the world being slowly transformed into a wilderness. I hear the approaching of thunder that one day will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions. And yet, when I look up at the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better. That this cruelty too shall end, and that peace and tranquility will return once more. It is us who need to take that step and make that change. Similarly, in the table topics section, it's you who needs to take that stage and make that change you want to see in yourself. So when he asked the table topic master, that's what what is that thing that he had that if he had sacrificed could make a big difference in someone's life. He said that if he had sacrificed his laziness, his parents' life would have been completely different, as they would have been able to prepare the retirement better. And when I asked him the question that is he currently doing in life, to that he replied that currently he is figuring out how to figure out what to do in life. So please put your hands together for the creative and the innovative Toastmaster Rohit Gupta.
Thank you, Toastmaster today. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
You have to have your wits about you and think quickly on your feet, as rightly said by Michael East. Impromptu speaking is not something you are born with. It is an acquired skill. It needs to be practiced and developed. Good evening to one and all present here, and welcome to the table topic segment of any generic Toastmasters meeting. Since the contest season is about to begin, I have relatively chosen very comfortable topics so that every speaker on stage today goes back home feeling a bit confident. There are some rules to the table topic segment, which is I will repeat the topic twice. I repeat, I will repeat every topic to each and every speaker twice. Every speaker will have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute to a maximum of 2 minutes, 30 seconds. There should be no prompting by the audience. And also the audience should turn off their microphone while a speaker is speaking so that no kind of disturbance actually hampers the flow of the speaker. For anyone who wishes to participate can use the raise the hand feature present on Zoom. So far, so good. Let's begin with a table topic segment for today's meeting. Can I have a raise of hands, please? Also, I'm so sorry. Before I begin, I'm going to say that today my topics are based on a good and bad series. Every speaker will be given a good or a bad about something, and they will have to speak on the same. For example, suppose I'm going to say the good about Toastmasters, and a speaker will have to say the relevant. As far as I can see in the participant segment, the first speaker that we have is a guest, if I'm not wrong. So can I please welcome Toastmaster Vishnu? Please welcome the guest Vishnu Sarkar.
Sir, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Thank you, sir. My name is Vishnu Sarkar, and I'm from Madanpur. It is near Kollani, and it's my first meeting, and I'm very happy to join with you. It's my great opportunity. So, uh, actually, I own an institution called English and Computer Pathshala, and I teach English. But when I see the first line, practice yourself what you preach, then I was very influenced by these sentences and practice a lot to develop others. And in my locality, I see that the people of Bengali medium students, they fear English like a ghost. So I want to eradicate this problem, and that's why I'm trying to do so. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vishnu. So your topic for today is the good about sleep. The good about sleep.
Okay. So it is said that good sleep, regular exercise, and good food is the key to health, good health. So I think good sleep is necessary for everyone, at least 5 or 6 hours for adults. And from a lecture, I learned that in average, one third of our lifetime we spend like sleeping. So sleeping is good for health, but from in my point of view, I realized that nap is not good for health because for adult, see 5 or 6 hours is enough for good health, and as well as digestive. If we sleep well, our digestive system works very beautifully, and we can get a good health. So I think sleep is very necessary for our day-to-day life. But at present, smartphone and there are so many distractions that reduce our sleep, and we have to consider works on this topic. That sleep, we have to realize the importance of sleep. So, and there are many books on how to get a good health on sleeping, the position of sleeping. Someone says that if you turn left side or turn right side or sleep straightly, which one is better? And we need to learn how to sleep properly. I think so. Uh, so, and sleeping is good for health, and that's why we need to how much time should we sleep according to our age. And I think male and female are both are different, and childs generally sleep more than 8 hours. I think when under 6 or 8 hours, because they take a good nap in a day. And every mothers in our locality, I see that after their lunch, they put their baby to sleep, and otherwise they can read in the evening. So, and I think that uh, for adult, 5 to 6 hours is sufficient for a healthy person. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishnu, for that wonderful take on the topic. Also, I love the fact that you really provided us with really good information about how to sleep on your left side and not on your right side, and how every child needs a minimum of 8 hours of sleep. Thank you so much for the topic. So, as I can see in the participant segment, the next I will call upon is the president of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Shreya.
Yes.
Toastmaster Shreya, your topic is the bad about exercising. Bad about exercising, Toastmaster Shreya.
We all know it, right? The very thought of exercising is so terrifying. Instead, you go for shopping, buy all the track shoes, all the equipments for exercising. But exercising, it's not only bad for your health, it's bad for your mind. Just imagine the exercise you have to do with your mind if you have to get up at 5 a.m. Do you really need anything more? That struggle that will rob you of your sleep, that will rob you of the 5 a.m. dreams of that beautiful girl or that charming guy, of the smile of Devarshi or the enigma of Eddie Silvermind. Forget it. As it is, there are so many people who is after you, will make you run from files to files. So in one word, exercise, getting up at 5 a.m. is just not worth it. You have so many other things to do. Go for a date, run behind bushes, run behind a girl, but not exercise. Definitely not. So enjoy your sleep, and as the weekend starts from tomorrow, no alarm, please. Just set your alarm for 6 p.m. on Sunday, because we'll be celebrating. Do all the dancing you want to do. It will suffice everything. Your mind will be healthy, your body will be healthy. And before the timer flashes the red card, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shreya. I wish my father could listen to this table topic. It's also because every time at 5 a.m. in the morning, when I'm just about to hand over my rose to one of my many crushes in my dreams, my father always comes and wakes me up to go up to the terrace for a walk. And my story is always left incomplete that way. So the next person I'm going to call up for a table topic is Toastmaster Sumit.
Yes.
Toastmaster Sumit, I know you're a wonderful guy, so I have a pretty relatable topic for you. The topic for you is the bad about saying a no. The bad about saying a no. Toastmaster Sumit.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, bad about saying no. Whenever I say no to someone, I thought that that person will surely be judging myself from being rude and not doing what he or she want me to do. That's what I think. That is why I generally agree to things what people say to me, and don't generally disagree with them. But later in my life, I realized that this kind of attitude won't work, because sometimes you have to say no, because it's just that you can't take that stuff, and that is something bad and it will affect you in the long term. So you have to say no. But still I am not very good at saying no. But I try to say no to the things which don't really suit me, and my conscience just say that, so don't go for this, please don't go for this. Then only I say no, but otherwise I have to say yes for the things. Like yesterday, my friends called me to for an outing, but I was busy with my exams. So instead of saying no, I went with them and wasted my 4 or 5 hours. And later I realized that I should have attempted a mock, but yeah, that happens, life happens. Ultimately, I failed to say no, and I don't think anything good about saying no. But yeah, there are a lot of I think many things good about saying no, but there are a lot of things which are bad about not saying no. So I hope you get it. And back to you, table topic master. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit. That was a really, really good take about how a person feels when he has to say no, and there's a conflict in his mind and in his heart as to what to do and what not to do. Job well done. Thank you. The next person we're going to have is a guest by the name of AD Silvermind. Sir, may I know your name, please?
AD.
Your name is AD, right?
Yes.
So, AD, the topic that I'm going to give you is the good about street food. The good about street food. Guest AD.
I grew up in Egypt, and we have a celebration once a year where they slaughter animals in the street, and the streets are bathed with blood. And they do this in front of children, and it's traumatizing, to say the least. And growing up, seeing these images, you become conditioned to accept them as a fact, and that's how it is. But at some point, I started seeing that's strange. That can't be right. So I started reflecting on this and watching documentaries about veganism, being a vegetarian, and so on. And I've been vegan for 1.5 years now. And this makes me like an alien in Egypt. Because whenever people are having a dish party and I have to get food, the options, they have crazy options everywhere. But I go to restaurants, I go to stalls in the street, and all of them use animal products. I once went to a cafe and they had on the menu oats with coconut milk. I said, finally, I'm gonna have some coconut milk. So I sat down, I ordered the meal, and he got me the dish. I told him, are you sure this is coconut milk? He said, yes, I'm sure. Don't worry, sir, it's coconut milk. So I'm tasting it. It tastes weird. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. So I ate some more. And then I told him, look, you got to send this back to the chef. You got to check. It tastes strange to me. So he came back and he said, the chef said he used cow milk. And what's the difference anyway? Cow milk, coconut milk, it's all milk. Now this made me want to kill myself. And at this point, I realized Egypt is no place for vegans. But I heard great things about Kolkata. And I know that Indians have reverence for animals, and I'm a big fan of animals, and I don't like killing animals. So street food, I can't tell you about street food because in Egypt, we have a bad reputation. Street food is really cheap. They give you a meat sandwich for like, what, $1? You wonder, what did they slaughter to make this so cheap? So I'm very wary of street food. I never eat street food. And not only that, I never eat restaurant food. Homemade food is the way to guarantee your health. Back to you.
Thank you, guest AD, for that really, really good take on your table topic. And I really, applaud you for, being socially aware in a world like today where animals are being slaughtered for one's own personal tastes. Also, I'm going to say that since you do not eat street food, you have broken the hearts of many people right now who just have a great, great craze for street food, especially in Calcutta. Thank you. Thank you once again. So the next speaker I'm going to call on stage is a Toastmaster by the name Anusha Khurana. Ma'am, your topic for today is the bad about water. The bad about water, Toastmaster Anusha Khurana.
The bad about water is it begins with a W. If it began with a V and it were vodka, then it would be absolutely fantastic. The bad about water is that it's absolutely plain and tasteless. The bad about water is that you cannot ingest it and feel good. The bad about water is that it takes you from here to a point where you feel everything is so very bland. In this world of drinkers, of wine tasters, of people who love to ingest anything alcoholic, A mocktail would also do. But water? That takes away the taste of everything. We just talked about coconut milk. Well, if you have choices which are so fantastic as compared to plain old water, would you really go for it? Would you go for something which flushes your system of its toxins? Would you go for something which tells you to be healthy? Obviously not. In today's world, you've got to live it up. You've got to be up with the times. You've got to be able to do what everybody's doing. And if you're a plain old water drinker like me, who says I'm a teetotaler, you're really going to have it bad. So I've learned it the hard way that if you drink water, you're really not going to get very far from here. So buckle up, learn the ability to taste wines, learn the ability to stay in Paris and say, when's the latest Beaujolais coming? Or the various wines which come from various areas, Alsace-Lorraine being very famous for wines. Learn the best about the drinks, and plain old water is anyway going to be there in the queue for you. So don't worry about it. The bad about water is that it's always there for you. Back to the table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anusha, for a wonderful take. And listening to your table topic, I could only wish that if I had the power of Jesus Christ of turning water into wine, I would have been enjoying my lockdown days pretty much cooler. So thank you for that take. We're going to have the last speaker for today. And can I get a raise of hands, please?
Yes, yes. Give me this.
I can see a guest by the name of Babu Gupta, Pratyush. I'm going to call you Pratyush. Guest Pratyush. Since I'm trying to be a bad person in this good world, I'm again going to repeat the genre of my topic. And the topic for today is the bad about washing hands. The bad about washing hands, guest Pratyush.
What? The bad about washing hands. I hope my mom is not listening to what you said to me after this lockdown, and she is not here. Otherwise, I would have just told her that one of my friend is really advising me and saying me to give some advice to people who are washing their hands regularly. Or really, the bad about washing hand in this COVID time, I realize it's when you even give a money to anyone after buying anything, or when you take the money, you when someone is with you, that say you to wash your hand. So the bad thing about washing hand nowadays is like taking breath, like you are inhaling and exhaling. You are washing hand after doing anything. You are handling a paper, you are washing hand. You are giving notes, you are washing hand. You are touching anyone, you are washing hand. I'm shaking hand with you, then also I am washing hand. So now I will appropriately agree with you and say that washing hand, oh my God, please spare me, and I agree 100% with you. Please don't tell me to wash hand anymore. Don't tell me to wash hand anymore. Thank you. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, guest Pratyush. And the
Well,
way
I'm also a toastmaster.
Oh, I'm really sorry for that mispronunciation of your salutation, Toastmaster Pratyush. I could very well see your hand through the camera, and it looks properly washed. So I'm pretty sure how strict your parents are when they're forcing to wash hands. So with that, we come to the end of today's table topic. A very important note. Kolkata Toastmasters Club will be very soon having the table topics contest, and I request all the speakers, all the Toastmasters who are present here who wish to participate, kindly contact your mentors, get yourselves mentored, and do give a good competition in the days to come. So thank you guys, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Tanish.
Please give a round of applause to Toastmaster Rohit Gupta. Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit, for that very different and creative table topic section. It was really a very fun and interesting session. Moving on. Why are we here at Toastmasters? It's because we realize that there is something missing in us, But this something is just not confined to the world of Toastmasters or public speaking. But whenever you go step out of your home, you'll see thousands of things that you dislike. But the question that really is that, are you that person who is willing to take up that step and make that change, or just like any other person wait and see that if someone else makes that change? We really are the authors of our lives and are responsible for creating the lives we desire. The pen is in your hand, and you have the power to write and rewrite your story and give it whatever ending you like it to have, with the choices you decide to make and the actions you decide to take. It all starts with us and it all ends with us. Every time you write a page of a book, there might be a situation that you didn't like or something you think that you might improve upon. Who said that you can't tear that page and move on? Yes, you can. You definitely can. So now it's time to see where we could improve in today's meeting. So on this note, please allow me to call the general evaluator of today's meeting, Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Tanish. Can we keep the applause going for our Toastmaster of the Day for conducting the meeting so wonderfully? Well, we now bulldoze into the heart of every Toastmaster session, the general evaluation session. To evaluate the first speaker, and we'll straight away go to the evaluation of the speakers. To evaluate the first speaker, that was Toastmaster Komal, can I call upon Toastmaster Gurpreet into the podium?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, and a very good evening once again to all my fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, and especially to my target speaker, Toastmaster Komal Chararia. Now, somebody asked me the other day, how do you take your tea? I said, seriously, very seriously. So, Toastmaster Komal, you did a wonderful job today with this wonderful speech that you delivered. To begin with, Toastmaster Komal, you really touched the chords of each and every heart because you chose to speak on a topic that's relevant, that's very close to all our hearts, and that is tea. Now, let me tell you 3 things that I really loved about your speech. Number 1, your speech title was indeed very creative. The way you chose to break it down into 2 syllables, especially the word anxiety into 2 syllables, and connected it with chai or tea to convey a powerful message. Trust me, not everyone can do it, Toastmaster Komal. Kudos to you on that. And you were the perfect teacher to tell us about anxiety today. Moving on to the second thing that I really loved about your speech, you had great vocabulary and language usage throughout your speech, especially the usages like the highs and the lows, the ups and downs, words like petrified, maxims like it's okay to not be okay. Therefore, it sounded very poetic and pleasant to the ears as an audience member, especially as an evaluator. Points number 3 that I really loved about your speech, Toastmaster Komal, you had great eye contact. Now, I must admit that you have great camera wisdom. All throughout your speech, you were just looking right into the camera and you were perfectly sure of where your camera angle is, because when you held your props up, the cups, they were exactly at a point that, it would grab all eyeballs. So kudos to you on that. And moreover, you had to speak about an unfamiliar topic to an unfamiliar audience. Though the topic was familiar tea, you very wisely connected it with an unfamiliar concept of anxiety, which was again very wonderfully done. Now, when you often sit with your friends over a cup of tea, you get suggestions, you have fun. So here, Toastmaster Komal, here are a few suggestions which you could actually employ to take your speech to the next level. Number 1, you did tell us not to exaggerate minor worries, and you mentioned how you took to journaling, exercising, and meditating. But Toastmaster Komal, we missed a personal story wherein you could have told us perhaps how you handled with anxiety and how you got over it. So the story sounded, the thing that you were narrating sounded very generalized. Number 2, you had good hand gestures, especially when you were talking about enhancing mindset. Your hands were just here, but the hand gestures somehow did not synchronize with the voice. So I believe a better voice modulation could have created more impact and would have passed on the message to the audience or passed on the message to me as an evaluator. It would have a more perfect impact on me. Overall, you had great eye contact. You could perhaps work on your voice modulation. And they say that in wine there is wisdom. In beer, there is freedom. Toastmaster Komal, in tea, there is addiction. Keep drinking tea. Over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Toastmaster Gurpreet, for that wonderful and meticulous evaluation. Toastmaster Gurpreet, before I go to the speaker, I will first give you your evaluation. One of your commendations were that the speaker used a lot of good grammar and vocabulary, right? And we have a grammarian role assigned for that. So I think one of those commendations could be something else and not the grammar part, right? So this was something that I had to put it forward. And there was also you gave a wonderful evaluation, but there is something that I would like to put forward in front of you as a challenge because I see you as a very wonderful evaluator. What we do is when we evaluate someone, we are addressing only to the speaker, right? But actually, even evaluation is a speech. So just like in a speech, when we address to the entire audience and not just one person. So if evaluation is also a speech, why not just address to the entire audience and not just the speaker, right? So I hope that next time when you come up for evaluation, you try and address the entire audience and not just the speaker. But on and all, what an amazing evaluation, introduction, transitions, and conclusion, wonderfully done. Coming to the speaker, Toastmaster Komal. Well, Toastmaster Komal, different from what Toastmaster Gurpreet has added, I love the way that you had sprinkles of humor every now and then in your speech. Those Einstein part, then the exams anxiety that you try to get over anxiety from other things, but the exams part you still haven't sorted. So there was those sprinkles of humor every now and then in your speech, which I loved. Second, I love the way that you had a call to action for everything, right? So you're talking about anxiety and how people face different kinds of problems, but you also came up with solutions. Like if your anxiety level is 1 to 10, in a range of 1 to 10, if it's 10, consult a professional, or maybe chai is the solution to all the anxieties. So that was a good way to give a call to action to every person who is relating with your speech. And I have evaluated you before, and I remember that there was one recommendation that I used to give you perpetually. That was your crutch hand gesture, which is this. Towards the starting of your speech, I noticed that your hand gesture was this, but that was only for a few seconds, and then your hand gestures with everything was very apt, right? If you had to take a hand to a particular place to show and get a better impact of that hand gesture, you were doing that, and it wasn't coming back to this place. So I think you really worked on that crutch gesture of yours, and that has helped you delivering a more impactful speech. And of course, how can I forget the speech title, Anxiety, right? That was an amazing speech title. And I think there are people who don't think much about the speech title, but it also forms a very important aspect of your speech, right? It's an introduction to your speech. So the speech title was very wonderfully chosen. However, apart from the recommendation Toastmaster Gurpreet had for you, there is one recommendation which I would like to uh, put forward. That is while you were explaining how tea is helping you fight your anxiety and how things actually happen in your body when you drink tea, right? You take a sip, it goes, it affects your nerve, and I couldn't hear it properly. The reason being that you were too quick with that thing, right? When you're drinking, it is actually a point where you can actually show a lot of expressions and emotions, that how it actually soothes you, it helps your body, calms your nerves, releases your anxiety. So that part, I think that was explained in a rush. And if that wouldn't have been explained in a rush, however, I could have actually written it down. So, but because I missed it, that's the reason I was actually putting it as a recommendation. So uh, try to not rush through important portions of your speech. Of course, there's a time limit, but you have to figure out that which part of your speech is worth rushing by. Right? This was an important point, and I believe that this could have been said a little slower. But on and all, what a fantastic speech. There was a moment I was actually looking for that you're going to make one mistake and I'm going to write that out in my recommendations, right? And for most better half of your speech, you didn't, but this was just one point that I had to. So kudos to you for delivering that fantastic speech, and I hope to see such wonderful speeches from you coming every now and then now. Well, moving on to our second speaker, that was Toastmaster Aman. He was evaluated by Toastmaster Raghav. Toastmaster Raghav, can we please have the evaluation?
A very good evening to all the Toastmasters present here, especially Aman. Naman, kudos to you on starting the journey to become a very effective speaker. And I loved your speech. Given it was your first speech, I felt it was very nice and it was very well delivered. Now, even I am reading this book, The Secret, at this moment, and I got this review from you, which was very nice. I mean, now I will enjoy this book now. And yeah, so there were a lot of things which I liked about your speech. One of the things was that you dressed very well to be giving the speech. You were perfectly formally dressed and you had your camera perfectly positioned. That was one of the first things which I noticed, and it was brilliant. You discussed a very common problem, which about, I think 90%, 80% of the students face, college going students face. And I think everyone faces that thing, and you came out of the thing. So congrats on that thing. And it was your first speech. You timed it very well. You used, I would not say it was timed very well, but I would say that you used each and every second that you had, and you delivered the speech till the last second. Your hand gestures were very good. While you were speaking about things that you could not sing well and you didn't had your lyrics, you forget lyrics. And when you started saying that you found actual science to be very interesting and you pursued that, that at various moments you were using hand gestures. Hand gestures, as we are not, giving speeches in a live podium and in presence of a live audience. Hand gestures in camera brings a certain activity and brings the attention of audience towards you. So using your hand gestures were very apt and very normal, like very with the behavior. You were not forcing yourself to use that hand gestures. That was one thing that I really liked. And the title was very apt. You used the title The Life Express very appropriately. Like you stated that how you shifted to Kolkata and how you faced a downward phase and how you started that upward phase when you first got, when slowly you got to know what you actually want to do in life. And how you used different things, different how you use different songs and various things that you showed that how life is supposed to go up and down and how to enjoy that. So that was very nice. But of course, every speech, given that it's your first speech, there were a lot of positives that I really liked about your speech. But of course, in a journey, even the most experienced Toastmasters get recommendations. Some recommendations was that practice your speech well. Your speech was very good, but the speech was that you forgot your speech in between sometimes, and also your speech ended a bit abruptly in the end. You could also use voice modulations very good, a bit properly. Voice modulation is that you change the pitch of your voice and change the tone of your voice up and down to make it sound interesting. Like you said, I'm a very bad singer and often forget lyrics. You could have said, I'm a very bad singer and often forget lyrics. This helps in bringing the attention of the audience. And that's all. So good hand gestures, usage of time, very good title. I mean, these were the positives which made your speech very entertaining. So that's all. Thank you. Over to you, Rahul.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghav, for that wonderful evaluation. Toastmaster Raghav, I love the way that when you were explaining the recommendations about vocal variety and voice modulation, you actually show them by examples, right? He's a new Toastmaster, so he has to also, and of course, everyone, not just a new Toastmaster, everyone has to know that where exactly did they go wrong and not just what went wrong, right? So that was a wonderful way to explain that where he could actually improve his voice modulation. But coming to the commendations that you gave, one of the commendations was dress. He dressed really well. I know he was dressed. He was dressed up really well. But of course, when he's delivering a speech, the focus should be more on the content and the content. Apologies, content and the delivery aspect, and not just the way he's looking, right? So focus more on the content and the delivery, and not on his appearance. And the second one was on timing, which I believe could have been something else, but the timing aspect, because it is somewhere in sync with the speech and the planning of the speech, the way he's delivering the speech, maintaining the time in the back of the mind. I think that was a good point to raise, but of course that could have been replaced by some other point, as he delivered a wonderful speech. But on and all, I know you're improving, but there are a few things that have to be refined at the early level so that you can do it better the next time. And coming to the speaker, Toastmaster Aman, wow, what a wonderful icebreaker. I mean, the best thing was at the beginning. You started in such a jolly mode, right? Immediately as you started, there was like, okay, there's going to be a actual express that is going very fast, and it happened so wonderfully that it was as if you were challenging me that please keep your eye, that take your eyes off my speech. It was as if you were challenging us. So you started in such a jolly way and you continued with that flow throughout your speech. So that was a very wonderful thing that you did. And I loved the energy that you had. The speech was very cool. I would like to say it had everything, that sarcasm, some punches and everything, and humorous as well at different points of the speech. So I love the way you had written your speech and the way you delivered it. And of course, like Raghav mentioned, those effective hand gestures. You were in the front row, then back row, your marks took a dive. It is not easy for a new Toastmaster to get those hand gestures and that comfortability with your speaking. and you completely nailed it, Toastmaster Aman. You missed the part of a particular part in your speech. Maybe you forgot it, and that is not a problem. People keep forgetting speeches. Okay, when you practice better, when you give more speeches, you get a hang of it. But the amazing thing, good thing I liked about your speech was that once you forgot, you did not waste a lot of time remembering what you had forgot. You straight away continued with some other thing. Of course, for a fraction of a second you were blank, and we noticed it then and there, but you continued it and did not apologize or stop, or you were blank. So that was a good way you manage yourself while delivering the speech, which is a good implication of a good and a confident speaker that we see in you. However, Toastmaster Raman, I do have a recommendation for you. There was a moment when you came closer, like closer to your camera, and asked that, have you read a book or saw a movie, right? There was a moment when you did that. Now, when you are asking, have you read a book or saw a movie, you're actually asking a question. I know it was a rhetorical question and you didn't want any answers, but when you ask a question, at least give that 1 second or a 2 second pause to the audience. Okay, audience, or maybe also figure out that it's a rhetorical question. I believe you put forward a question and you started speaking again without even wasting a second, like without even giving the audience a second. So that question has to be, delivered with, has to be kept in mind that there has to be a pause. And pauses are what add a lot of impact to your speech. You will realize it when you give more different kinds of speeches and more speeches. So try and wait for those pauses. Bring those pauses in your speech. The impact is going to be much greater. But on and all, the way you've introduced yourself in Icebreaker, I think I already know you a lot. And honestly, this was one of the most cool icebreakers. I'm using cool again and again because it was literally very cool. So this was one of the most cool icebreakers I've seen, and we wish to see more of Toastmaster Aman and his cool speeches in the way forward. Kudos to you for delivering your for beginning your journey as Toastmasters. Moving on, we had the third and the final speaker of our meeting, the very experienced Toastmaster Anisha, and she will be evaluated by none other than the current first runner-up at the division level, the table topic contest, Toastmaster Vishesh. Can we please have the evaluation?
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Good evening, one and all present here, and in particular to the interior design maestro, Toastmaster Anisha. Toastmaster Anisha, I loved the way you painted a picture into the interior designing world for each and every one of us to understand the process and the integrities of the interior designing process. It shows that you had very good content, because I, who has no idea at all about interior designing, understood each and everything you tried to tell us. So your content in that manner was on point, and you had matched it up with great hand gestures. And the way you explained each and every point without just breezing past the point, you explained each and everything, which was very helpful for me to take in and understand what you're trying to say. But Toastmaster Anisha, I have a few recommendations for you to help you improve your speech. First and foremost was your camera angle. Your camera angle only showed us your neck and a bit of your hands here and there. I suggest that at least we can see both your hands at all times, so that we can make out when you had good hand gestures, but the problem was we couldn't see the hand gestures. So if you move back a bit, now we can clearly see what you're trying to express with both your hands. So that is one thing you should take into account. The second point was that your speech, it lacked structure. It lacked an introduction, it lacked a conclusion and a message. You jumped straight right into the process, into the different phases of interior designing without building a proper base for your description or proposal. And you could, as you had so much of detail, it would have been better to use a visual aid, such as a PowerPoint presentation, which would have helped us all understand your speech in a better manner. One thing I have to suggest that you need to practice your speeches in a good manner. I could see the lack of practice very clearly, because you're forgetting the speech. You had way too many crush gestures. So that is something which experienced Toastmaster, they can make out that you haven't practiced your speech a lot. So please put in the time to practice your speech. It is very, very important. And last is that your speech purpose was develop and present a proposal. Your speech for me wasn't a proposal, it was a description of interior designing. So I could not find the proposal aspect of your speech. But all in all, your speech had good content, but it needed proper organization and process. That good content through proper organization and practice would make this into a stellar speech. So, all the best for your next speeches. Keep the recommendations in mind. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishesh, for that detailed evaluation. It is as if you have my evaluation sheet with you, right? All the points that I had written, it's all are ticked, and you have just said everything. So thank you so much for that wonderful evaluation, and I'm sure Toastmaster Anisha, we have delivered interior designing. I guess it's a 2 to 3 year course, and you actually explained the entire course in 4 to 5 minutes, right? So I think you were the content that you had was very rich, and you explained the points really well. Of course, the visual aids could have made the explanation part a little more better. And like as I said, Toastmaster Vishesh included all the points that I had. So please keep in mind those recommendations that Toastmaster Vishesh has given. And you are an experienced Toastmaster now, and we expect to see some more high quality speeches from you, and especially the part where the structure is not missing, right? So all the best for your future speeches. Moving on, we are now going to ask for the role player reports. And can we start with our grammarian Toastmaster Dioshi?
Good evening once again, Toastmasters and guests. The word of the day was not used once. Some of the good usages of grammar were safe and sane. Are you denying it or are you dwelling in it? Falls deep into the pit, always a sunrise after every sunset. Knots and bolts, sprinkles of humor, you have to have wits, bathed with blood, and the two puns, teacher and anxiety. Some of the not so good usages of grammar was what was that thing that would be what was the thing that Amandeep Kaur she is would have been she is Amandeep Kaur. 5 to 6 hours are sufficient would be 5 to 6 hours is sufficient in that sentence. And the pronunciation of wilderness would be wilderness. That's it for my grammarian report. Back to you, General.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dioshi, for that wonderful report. Next up was the timer, which was played by Toastmaster Anisha. Ma'am, can you please have a report? It's again not audible. There's some problem with your earphones, I guess.
It's Ishita. I'll share. Wait. Hello, am I visible? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now.
Yeah. Okay. Just a sec. Yeah. So this is my timer's report. So the prepared speech section, two speakers couldn't, they had actually exceeded the time limit, Aman Shah and Anisha Agarwal. So they are not eligible for e-voting. Then the table topic section, most of the table topic speakers were exceeded the time limit. They like Vishnu Sarkar, Shreya Goswami, Ray, guest AD, and Toastmaster Anusha Khurana. So they are not eligible for e-voting. Only Toastmaster Sumit Kumar and Toastmaster Pratyush are eligible.
Toastmaster
Next,
Ishita, before you move ahead, I think there is some problem because Toastmaster Aman's speech was 5 minutes 40 something. Can you just take it back to the?
sure. Yeah, but it was his table, his icebreaker.
Yeah, so
4 to.
icebreakers are 4 to 6 minutes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
That's my
okay, not a
mistake. I'm
problem.
so
And
sorry.
in the table topics section as well, can you just take it to the table topic section?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so you said Toastmaster Shreya, guest Vishnu, guest AD, and Toastmaster Anusha, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a 30-second grace period on the upper hand. That is after 2 minutes. So 2 minutes 30 seconds. Within that, they are eligible. So I think all
Okay,
the speakers
sorry.
are eligible. Maybe
I
just
guess
Toastmaster
I just,
Anusha. Not a
yeah,
problem. I think just Toastmaster Anisha
yeah.
is not eligible for voting.
I thought, I just, made a huge
No
mistake, I
problem.
guess.
No problem. No
So
problem.
sorry
Just
for
move on.
that. Yeah, so all of them are eligible except, I guess, uh, Yeah. Then the evaluations, all the three evaluators are eligible for voting because they were within the time limits. So yes, that's my report. And
All right.
thank
Thank you
you
so much,
for
Toastmaster Ishita. I'll really commend the effort that you've put in behind this presentation and making it ready just after the meeting while you have to present. Right. That was a honest mistake, and of course that can be worked upon. So just for the benefits of the tech master who will be you will be launching the polls. All the table topic speakers and the evaluators are eligible for voting as they are on time. In the prepared speech section, only Toastmaster Anisha is not eligible for voting as she has exceeded time limit to 7 minutes 45 seconds. And Toastmaster Aman and Toastmaster Komal is eligible for voting. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ishita. Well, the next role player is our R counter, that is Toastmaster Diyoshi again. Toastmaster Diyoshi, can we please have the report?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests for the fourth time. So, the Toastmaster Tanish had 4 hours, 4 repetitions, and 2 that. Toastmaster Rahul had 2 UNOs, 4 repetitions, plenty of hours, 1 and 1 so that. Toastmaster Ishita had 4 hours, 1 1 repetition. Toastmaster Sumit had plenty of hours, 2 repetition, 1 so. Toastmaster Pritam had 1 hour. Toastmaster Raghav had plenty of hours, 1 pause, 2 so, and plenty of you know. Toastmaster Aman had 1 repetition and 1 small pause. Toastmaster Anisha had plenty of hours, 1 pause, 4 repetitions, 2 like, and 1 which was not required. Toastmaster Rohit had plenty of hours and 1 pause. Guest Vishnu had plenty of hours, 1 repetition, 1 O. Toastmaster Shreya had 1 pause. Toastmaster AD had 1 repetition. Toastmaster guest Anusha had 1 R. Toastmaster Pratyush had plenty of hours. Toastmaster Vishes had 1 small pause. That's it from my report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
That was too detailed, Toastmaster Diyoshi. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Diyoshi for taking up 2 roles and delivering and doing it so brilliantly? That was a wonderful role play, Toastmaster Diyoshi. It was very well noticed. And I guess I'm getting rusty by not attending a lot of meetings as I have so many crutch words now. And there's another thing I would like to correct in Toastmaster Diyoshi. As he started, he said Toastmaster Kanish, and even Toastmaster Vishay did that, Toastmaster Kanish. He's been a Toastmaster since a year now. Please understand his name is Tanish and not Kanish. It's Tanish. Please don't make that mistake. It's even written, at least look at his screen. All right. The next role player was the wow counter, which was played by Toastmaster Sumit.
Good evening, everyone. I have jotted down the top 3 wow moments, and starting from the third is the table topic section by Toastmaster Rohit Gupta. It was wonderful, keeping in mind the contests, and I just loved it. Topics were so simple that everyone can speak on. And number 2 is Toastmaster Komal's speech on anxiety and mental health. Speaking on these topics is really helpful for the public because in India, not many people are known about these things. And the best and the number 1 wow moment for the today's evening was Toastmaster Shreya take on her table topic. I was just laughing like anything. It was so funny table topic. So that was the top 3 wow moments of this meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumit, for that wonderful notice and wonderful presentation of your report. Well, the last and the final role player is our debutant, as we say, Toastmaster Preetham De as a parliamentarian.
Good evening, General Evaluator, sir. Now I present my report. Apart from a few glitches regarding the background noise, the meeting went well, and thanks to everybody for conducting the meeting so well. Thank you so much. Thank you, General Evaluator, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Preetham. And with that, these were the role players, and now I will present the report for the individual evaluations for the individual role players, starting with our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Sumit. Toastmaster Sumit, you started sharp at 7 p.m. and that is a wonderful thing. It shows how punctual we are about time. You explained the roles wonderfully, and even the Toastmasters promise, you were the first one who pinned in the group and said that Toastmasters promise. So it's good to see that you are, you're aware of what is to be done at every meeting, at the beginning of every meeting, and you do it brilliantly. Uh, of course, there are a few things which I would like to recommend. That is, well, at the beginning of the meeting, I joined 5 minutes earlier, and I saw that there was Toastmaster Gurpreet conversing with the other guests. He's the VP membership, and that is completely fine. But as a sergeant at arms, you're the chairman of the welcoming committee, and to converse with the guests, to make them comfortable, even the Toastmasters from other clubs, from our club also, it becomes your responsibility to welcome them and talk to them, converse with them, and just make them comfortable in this meeting. So I think this aspect was missing, and you joined at 7 and you started the just welcoming everyone and the introducing to the meeting. So I think that was something that was missing and it could have been done better. Unfortunately, your introduction, while the introduction of the president, and the I'm sure you did that because you do it every week, and the president's address was missed by me because I got logged out for some reason. So Toastmasters, we are really sorry, and I couldn't witness your toast president's address. Moving on, the Toastmaster of the day, and what a wonderful theme as he had. It starts with you. I really liked your approach at the beginning of your role. You mentioned something where we all say that the best form of connection with the audience, and then followed by a very apt story, right? So your beginning was very nice. You started with something that was very relevant to each and every one of us, and that is a wonderful way to start, right? You said something that each and every one of us could connect with in our daily lives, and then you gave a very wonderful story to as a background of what you were saying. So your start was wonderful, and you also explained the format of every Toastmasters meeting, that for the benefits of the guests and all the speakers evaluations, all the role players introduction, or even the evaluators, you texted everyone in the morning and said that, of course, yesterday night, and texted that, asked for their introduction in the morning. So I think the preparation, the background work that is supposed to be done for the Toastmaster of the day was done brilliantly. However, there are a few things that you have to refine so that you can take that role to the next level. While you were I noticed that while you were introducing all the role players, you were checking your phone. Maybe it was your phone and you were saying it from there, right? It was a different device or different place than all your usual notes for the Toastmaster of the day role. So I think while perpetually every time when you were introducing some role player, you were not very sure of what you had to say, maybe because you are seeing and looking. So what you can do is, just like you prepare all your roles, all the things that you have to discuss in your role, you can also write down in a piece of paper all the introductions, because I believe that is working better for you. Because when you're looking at a different device or a different place where you have to refer to, you are having some problem in saying things or introducing the speaker as well. So try to keep all your content in one place, and then I think you can deliver those introductions, all the role, more comfortably. Second, I think you are rushing through your role a little, right? As the Toastmaster today, you are the master of ceremonies, and the meeting has to flow very smoothly, right? And if you are rushing at the top, then I think it sets a tone for the entire meeting. So try to stay calm and composed, and don't rush with what you have to say. In that way, you can maintain a good flow for the meeting, and I think the meeting will be much more smooth. Uh, while you were introducing the speakers, you forgot to mention about their mentors. So while the speaker is before the speaker is delivering his speech, it is for the benefit of the guests and to everyone who's listening to the speech, that who's been mentored by whom. So I think the introduction for mentors was missing. And finally, you forgot the introduction for Toastmaster Anisha, right? You just asked for the evaluators report. You gave an introduction, and you didn't introduce, because till date right now I don't know her speech title, right? If I don't know her speech title, so the introduction was missing. So and another way, while you are introducing, you introduced in a way that the next speaker is her introduction, and then is Toastmaster Anisha, right? So you could have simply started in a way that Toastmaster Anisha, her speech title, and Toastmaster Anisha, as you could have done the introduction a little earlier and given a 1 second pause between the introduction of the speaker and the introduction towards the speech title. So that was missing. But on and all, I think I love the way you were so well prepared with your role. Few mistakes keep on happening when you're taking roles for the first time or the second time. I believe this is the second time you're taking up the role. Oh my God, it's the first time. Okay. So I think you did brilliantly according to the first time, and a few mistakes keep on happening. We make mistakes till now as well, but really matters that you learn from those mistakes and you play a better role for the next time when you take it up. So wonderful role played by us, played by Toastmaster Tanish, and I hope you take up more Toastmaster the roles and do it much better. The next role player was our table topic master. Just a second, let me find his. All right, the next role player was our table topic master, Toastmaster Rohit, and of course he's an experienced Toastmaster, and what in a wonderful way he came to the podium and he made everyone very comfortable, right? Saying that he's preparing all of you all for the contest, and to make you all more comfortable, the topics are going to be easy. So that was kind of a good comfortable position for everyone to take up roles and raise hands, and we could see that the participation was just exactly as you were expecting, right? When a table topic master is making someone comfortable, so that is how, that is how people are going to respond, and that exactly happened. And you had the rules were done and you had something to say after every speaker, which is a good trademark of every table topic master. However, there are a few recommendations, Toastmaster Rohit, for you, which is while you're stating the rules, you said that you're going to repeat the topic twice. Now we don't repeat the topic twice, we say the topic twice. You repeat the topic once. It is a very minor thing, but I think it's good to be absolutely correct. So you repeat the topic once, you say the topic twice. You said repeat the topic twice. So I think that is something you can work on. And while you said that you were preparing everyone for the contest, I was expecting, and you said the topics are going to be very generic, but I believe that the topics weren't generic. All right, the topics were easy, but they weren't generic. I mean, when you're talking about a speech in a contest, we usually have quotes, right? And I think today it was not a quote. You also got a flip that you're going to say everything is going to be either good or bad of something. And there were certain topics like the bad of exercising and the bad of water. These were topics, although the Toastmasters are experienced, so they pulled it off. But sometimes it really happens that it is not something that you're expecting when you're preparing someone for a competition. And even I guess for toast Toastmaster Pratyush, the bad about washing hands, I believe if he's a new Toastmaster, he's going to, and he's preparing for a contest, it is going to be a little tough for him to speak on this topic, and we could see that. So I think the topic selection was something you could have worked on. Yeah, so that was it for the table topic master, Toastmaster Rohit. And now I am going to evaluate the table topic speeches. Please give me a second. I'm a little confused with the pages I have written on. There are a lot of things written. All right, here it is. The first table topic speaker was guest Bishnu Shankar, right? And I guess you're a guest, okay. And the topic was the good about sleep. And of course, when we talk about the good about sleep, the most of your attention was towards the health aspect, and that was exactly what I was expecting. So the health aspect was really good, but how sleep is good, not but the topic was how sleep is good. How is it a good thing? I think you started really well by explaining the health aspect and how it is actually good, but then gradually you were flowing towards a part where you were explaining how you can sleep better. And I think that was a moment when you were deviating from the topic. You were completely on the topic at the better half of your speech, but towards the end you start giving tips on how you can sleep better. So I think staying very focused on the topic and staying on the topic is very important when you're preparing yourself for the contest, because that also keeps you eligible. That also takes away points when you're being judged in a contest. So I think staying on the topic is a very important thing. Although you had a good take on the topic as well, bringing the health aspect, which was exactly what I was expecting. The next table topic speaker was our president, Toastmaster Shreya. And the bad about exercising. Well, for a fitness freak like me, the bad about exercising is literally something I can never speak on. But you went ahead and you spoke for, I guess, 1 minute 45 seconds, I guess. And that was the amazing thing, which was really tough for me when I was wondering that if I was given this topic, what can I speak on? So I think you spoke really comfortably, and one thing I always commend about while you're on the stage is the way you're always calm and composed, right? You never take, even if a topic is tough or there's something that you're not able to figure out what to say, you don't try to affect that in your delivery. You don't try to show it on your face. It is always very calm and composed. That is one thing I really love about your presentation when you are on stage. But although I believe there was a moment in your table topic when you started talking about buying stuffs, right, for exercising. And I think that was one point where you could have completely, you could have completely be on the topic, right? So what I'm trying to say is that the bad about exercising, that you buy clothes and then you are very lazy and lethargic not to work out, and then those clothes go to waste. So that is a bad about workout. So you brought that point, and I was expecting that from this point you're going to be completely on the topic, but I think that could not happen, right? So you found a point but you could not complete. So take what I suggest you is take a little time while you get the topic and think about what is the one topic I can develop my table topic on, and then start delivering. So I think you started very immediately, and so just take that 2-3 second pause and think about that one point. And I think you are an experienced toastmaster now. That one point will take, maybe it's a tough topic, that one point won't take more than 2-3 seconds to you. So take that pause. The next table topic was delivered by our Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sumit, and the bad about saying a no. Well, Toastmaster Sumit, I have seen you delivering a lot of table topics now, and what I expect you is that topics can be tough, right? And what I expect you is to take one point, right? To take one stand. You started your topic perfectly by saying that what others would say when you're saying no, but then gradually you shifted your focus completely, that no, saying no is good, and saying no is good. So that there was a shift in focus. If you're refuting the topic, try to stay in one, try to have one point of view only. You cannot refute yourself, you cannot go against what you're saying. So you started by saying the bad of no, and then you started saying the good of no. So having one perspective, I think it gives you more clarity, and you don't have to think about a lot of things at that very moment. So try to have one perspective only and not jumble both the perspectives. Well, the next table topic speaker was guest AD Silver. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your name. Silver Mind. Okay, guest AD Silver Mind. The good about street food. Now, I didn't know you were from Egypt, and I was expecting you know, some uh, some Kolkata level street food stuffs and all. But of course, when you started, and if you haven't seen a lot of street food growing up, it becomes a little tough for you to deliver in this topic. But I think street food and what animal slaughtering and stuff was happening in Egypt, you try to connect with a very good message. And of course, again saying that you've heard a lot about Kolkata street food, but haven't got the opportunity to try it. Of course, so you had that social message as well, also the health message that you had in your speech. So I think for someone who has not had a good taste of good experience with street food, you were completely delivering it in a wonderful way. And of course, the energy and comfortability with which you're speaking, it doesn't really seem that you're a guest. You got the voice modulations, all the proper structure. Then especially the moment, if I'm not wrong, the moment when you're conversing with the coconut milk vendor, right? You brought that shift in your voice, which was something not many people do it in a table topic, but it is absolutely a pleasure to listen to that shift in the voice in a table topic. So you did that brilliantly. So thank you so much for delivering such a wonderful speech and a wonderful message in front of everyone. Again, I'm jumbled with the pages, but I'm going to look for it. Yes. Okay, no. All right. Here it is. The next table topic speaker was Toastmaster Anusha. I guess you're not a guest, you're a Toastmaster, right? Toastmaster Anusha, if you're here.
Yeah, I'm Toastmaster.
Right. Yeah. Toastmaster Anusha, I've seen you delivering table topics almost every meeting in KTM that I have attended. And very proudly, I can say that every time I lose to you, it is always something that I learned from your table topic speeches. It is always such a pleasure to listen to your speeches. The bad about water. If I was delivering this table topic, I would have taken at least 10 seconds to think that what is bad about water. And maybe I could have got 1 or 2 points that I could have delivered on. But you started with by saying the bad about water, that it starts with W and not V. And I think that caught everyone's attention, and you know, the way you completely nailed the topic was challenging, but you completely, absolutely nailed it, right? The V for vodka thing, that it would be better if water started with V, and then why drink water when you can drink wine and vodka? I think everything was wonderful in your table topic. It was a tough topic according to me, but it was a cakewalk for you. So wonderfully delivered table topic, Toastmaster Anusha. The next and the final table topic speaker was Toastmaster Pratyush. The bad about washing hands. it was a tough topic. It was that I've mentioned before. It was a tough topic, and it completely seemed that you're tired of washing hands, right? You're saying that it's like you got the topic, and the moment it was a tough topic, and the moment you heard the topic, it's like finally I have something that I can speak on, that I'm dying to say, that I'm tired of washing hands. So I think that was a wonderful way, and I loved the way you completely spoke. It was a tough topic. I like the way that you kept on speaking even when having a little problem with the content that you had to say, and bringing your mother's aspect brought a little humor as well. So I think it was a good challenging table topic, and then you actually took it in the right spirit. A little more practice and a little more participation in table topics can help you stay on the topic, but as long as you continued speaking and did not stop, that is the key takeaway from for me from your table topic. So well done with that, and could all the best to you for future table topic speeches. Well, that's it from my side. That was my general evaluation session. And with that, I hand it back, not back, I hand the podium to our enigmatic and to the very charming president, that is Toastmaster Shreya Goswami. Ma'am, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul, and what an amazing meeting it was. And now the tough time. Yeah, sorry, I was not audible for a while. All who participated today are winners for me. And now the most toughest part for all of you. I know it will be very difficult to cast your vote today because all had been brilliant. So I'll request the Take Master to launch the poll. Yeah, it has been launched, sorry. And while you do so, just give me a minute to exercise my options. While the others vote, I'll interact with some of the guests or Toastmasters and get their feedback. Meghna, you are here?
Yes.
Yeah. Please let us know. You are the evaluator for our meeting. How did you feel?
Good evening, everyone. So, this is my third session as a guest, and I'm really loving it. And I'm looking forward to be a part of Toastmasters soon.
Yeah. And we'll be celebrating our 650th meeting this Sunday. Do join in. Gurpreet will send you all the links.
We have already received the link. I'll surely join in. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And Kaustav Daga?
Good evening, everyone. This is my first session of the Toastmaster Club, and I'm happy to be a member of this club. And I enjoyed this program a lot.
Okay. Thank you. Please join us on Sunday. And our newest member is Preetham. Preetham, how does it? Yeah, please carry on.
And what about the link?
Yeah, Gurpreet will send you. Our VP membership will get in touch with you. Preetham, how does it feel to be a part of Kolkata Toastmasters family? You're the newest member.
Good evening, ma'am. Yeah, it feels great, ma'am, because like I'm a Toastmaster to another club in the same division. However, it feels great. Means it sometimes it feels overwhelming to see so many great speakers speaking on this podium, and I could learn new skills, how to incorporate those in my own journey as a Toastmaster. So feel great to be a part of this journey, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and please let us know how we can improve further. I'm
Thank you so much.
facing certain issues opening the survey results. So can anyone do that on my behalf? Maybe some network or connectivity issues. I'm unable to figure it out.
If not you, Gurpreet can do it, Toastmaster Shreya.
Yeah, Gurpreet.
Yes, can I ask the tech master to pass the results to me so that I could just announce them? Okay, so I have the results with me. Just give me a second. I don't know why I am made to do this suspense part of the meeting, but yeah, I've got to do it. Thank you. As I open the winning link, thank you to all fellow Toastmasters, to all guests who made to this meeting, and we are really expecting that all of you actually turn up on Sunday. We are actually celebrating the 650th meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. We start at 6 p.m. I'll be forwarding the link to everyone. Please please join us that day. Now, coming to the results. Okay, just a second. I think I am having some issues. Yeah, I've got it. The best evaluator, ladies and gentlemen, the best evaluator for this evening is none other than, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh, as the best evaluator. Thank you so much. Moving on to the best role player for this evening. The best role player award goes to none other than, do you want to guess, ladies and gentlemen, any guesses for the best role player? It's among the Toastmaster of the day, the general evaluator, and the table topic master. Any guesses? A quick guess.
General evaluator.
More than 30
Okay,
minutes.
no points for guessing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari as the general evaluator for this evening. Congratulations, Rahul.
Thank you, Gurpreet, and thank you so much, everyone.
Moving on to the best auxiliary role player. The best auxiliary role player, actually, I see that it's quite close. I am having some issues. It is Toastmaster Deorshi Pradhan. Toastmaster Deorshi Pradhan as the best auxiliary role player for this evening. Congratulations, Toastmaster Deorshi. Moving on to the best, or rather to the most improved speaker for this evening. The most improved speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is somebody who delivered his icebreaker this evening. Put your hands together for Toastmaster Aman Shah for starting his journey as a Toastmaster. Congratulations, Toastmaster Aman. We hope that you keep coming up on stage.
Thank you.
And last but not the least, any guesses for the best speaker? Any guesses?
Komal.
Toastmaster Komal, the girl who owes us a cup of tea. Toastmaster Komal, you do owe us a cup of tea. Congratulations on becoming the best speaker for this evening, Toastmaster Komal Chararia. Congratulations. And thank you each and everyone for making it to this meeting today. And we are meeting again, as I said, on Sunday, sharp at 6 p.m. You don't have to go to Egypt. You don't have to go to Calcutta Chamber of Commerce. You got to be here on Zoom, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday, 650th celebration of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. See you at 6 p.m. Have a good night. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Rahul.
Yeah.
Okay. So the meeting is officially over. Somebody can stop the recording.
Yeah. And it